nerds. Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds.
Hey, welcome to Black Girl Nerds Podcast Live. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jamie. Hello. And we have Ryanne.
Hello, guys. Woo! We're back. We're live.
We're back.
This gets cooler every week. I don't know how, but I just love talking with Jamie, so it gets cooler every week.
It does. Oh, thanks. I like talking with you, Ryanne. Thanks again for tuning in, you guys. We really appreciate it. We stream these shows every Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock Pacific. And, as always, we ask you to kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. If you're actually streaming this live via YouTube, we use StreamYard. So StreamYard is available on several different platforms, not only YouTube, but you can also watch us on Twitter and you can watch us on Facebook. If you are watching us on both Facebook and YouTube, then you can actually comment with us live and we will engage with you and chat with you.
Give us the comments.
You know, we will show your comments and we clap back. So letting you know.
And, let me just right now. We know I see Nadia in the chat. She knows this. Nadia knows this. She already knows.
Hey Nadia. And hey, Miss Yvonne Broadnax, who is my mom. Hey, Mom.
Oh, that's cool.
Mom's making a cameo.
I love it.
Yes, absolutely love it. So we are going to get started with our hot topics. We've got a show filled with them. So this should be a lot of fun. You know, sometimes we have shows where we have guests, but today, all hot topics. And
all the rants.
All the rants. We are going to dedicate a large portion of this show to recapping Obi-Wan Kenobi because kind of a big deal. The season finale was this past week, so we are going to talk about it. We are in our feelings. We got a lot to say, so we will completely unpack that. Okay, we're going to leave that to the last part of the show. So if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to plug your ears because it is going to be spoilerific. So just FYI on that one.
Yep.
Cool beanies. All right. So let's get started with our first topic. And you know what? I did not prep an image for this. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I sure did. I'm like, no, I didn't. Yes, I did.
I'm going to say, you probably don't need one, but it's cool that you got a prep.
Yeah. I try to make this look a little fun to watch while you guys are seeing us on the video. So this song.
Yeah.
You won't break my soul. Saul.
Queen B.
Did I say Saul? You won't break my soul.
I feel like she would put a little extra on it. Won't break my soul.
You won't break my soul. Queen B, Beyonce released her single this past week. Everybody has been talking about it. It's a nice dance number. It's definitely something you would listen to at the club. It's a nice summer jam for sure. And it's a very familiar beat because if you are someone of a certain age like me, you probably remember this song from back in the 90s. Robin S., she did a single called Show Me Love. So it's kind of a bit of a sample of her song, Show Me Love, which I love that. And I think Beyonce got permission for that, right?
Oh yeah, she had. I mean, I would hope so, because like she changes up the beat a little bit in the beginning, but you can kind of feel the vibe, and it's like that 90s, like Jamie saying, that dance, that disco feel. So she got to ask a couple people, for she sample it and put it out there again. So just to be sure, just to be careful. Right. They do a lot of that these days.
Yeah. I mean, Beyonce's got the money to make sure that her ducks, her I's are dotted and her T's are crossed when it comes to all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then apparently, I read an article. I didn't see all of the details, so I don't know if you heard about this, Ryan, but apparently there's a lyric in the song that says, "I just quit my job," and people are like literally quitting their jobs over this lyric. Is this true?
Yeah, like I've been seeing it. Yeah, like CNN has it. Everybody, like their Twitter and everything like that. So apparently, so Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, hopefully I'm pronouncing the name, was talking about like a increase in joblessness and all that kind of stuff. to save the economy and all that kind of stuff. The different way to do it. So Beyonce puts this out now, and everybody's like, "Oh, I gotta quit!" Like they just putting all kind of like different memes and stuff in Twitter saying they can quit their job because Beyonce told them to quit their job. I mean, let me say something right now. Okay, it's Queen B telling you to quit your job, so I feel like she got a couple coins, like just a little bit when she throwing that out there. Also, like if
is she gonna give us a stimulus check?
Right, like if she shoots you like a a little stimulus check or something like that, it's a little different. But I feel like she, like, if you listen to the rest of the song, she's talking about being motivated and elevating yourself. And she's not really saying y'all sitting. If you're not financially ready for now, if you've been sitting on it and you got the coins and you like, okay, I'm hesitant to quit my job. Follow your passion. That's different. But just out and out sending out memes talking about you quitting your job is a different story.
Right. So you got to read between the lines.
Yeah.
Know exactly what is being said. Don't just quit your job just because Beyonce said so. Like, leave your job for good reasons. Like if your job feels toxic, if you don't feel like you're, going anywhere, if it's causing you stress and like, if it's really having an impact on your mental health and wellness, then maybe it is time to leave your job. But I always say this is my advice. When it comes to a job that you really hate, just make sure you have a backup plan before you just up and quit. Like
that part. Yeah.
Looking for jobs and throwing, getting your resume out there while you're on the clock, like while you're on the clock, at your office, go ahead and get on Indeed and start sending out those resumes. And then do that. So that way, when you are ready to quit, you actually have that job waiting for you, that next week or whatever.
Yeah. And Jamie got that entrepreneur hustle status, so y'all take some notes. This is what I'm saying though, because I'm like people just go ahead sending out memes and they don't have like the backup, the financial. It's like, don't go crazy with it now. Like people doing a little bit too much. It's called the Great Resignation, the anthem for the Great Resignation. Like, just be careful though. Now, Queen B, she got some money. I'm just saying. Like everybody just going out, quit their job, quit your job and not coming back. She's just saying, just evaluate where you are. Like Jamie saying, if you're not happy, change up some stuff about yourself, because she's talking about not breaking your soul. There's a lot going on in the world. Just read that part into the song. Like, don't go too crazy. Because I know,
But what I like about this day and age, like the digital culture that we're in, people can really be entrepreneurs, and the barriers to entry are so much easier because now that we have the internet, you can be a online content creator. I mean, Twitter now, Instagram, obviously TikTok is allowing you to monetize this space where you can just create content and earn a living off of it. YouTube, here we are on YouTube. You can really create content. You can be a podcaster and really, be able to monetize your hobby. So now is really a great time to actually, if you decide to, be smart about it, but to leave your job and do what you really love and be an entrepreneur. Because that's why that Great Resignation is happening. Because people are like, you know what? I really want to get into podcasting. I really want to be a beauty influencer, and talk about natural hair or talk about, makeup and whatever. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And they're making a lot of money. Like there's people out there that's really doing a great job with their entrepreneurial hustle, as you say, Ryan. And it's amazing to see. Like you don't have to be confined to a 9-to-5 anymore. Like that traditional, hustle, that traditional sense of being behind a desk and clocking in and clocking out. That's not a life that you have to feel like you have to live anymore. You really can create your own world.
Yeah. I think that's what Queen B is trying to say. But everybody, you can still have fun with the memes if you want to. But I think that's what she's at the end of the day trying to say. Just have a little, you don't have to feel like you locked in a position. I think the pandemic kind of got everybody, in that headspace of having to think like you're locked in the house. You're thinking about what you want to do next, what you do on a day-to-day basis, if you're happy or not. So I think this is a real cool, little dance vibe that everybody will get into. So this is cool.
Absolutely. Well, cool. So our next order of business is talking about this image that came up that, we've been seeing some little photos here and there of, and also we've got a teaser that had came out But this image
Yeah.
was dropped the other day, and this is from the Game of Thrones House of Dragon series that's going to be coming out on August the 21st on HBO Max. I'm excited for it. You know that we're excited for it here at Black Girl Nerds because we used to do our Thrones Y'all podcast.
Yeah. That's how I met the crew. I love some GOT.
You know, and we've also, you know, been known for doing our live tweets with that. So I'm really excited for House of Dragon. I mean, how excited are you, Ryan, for House of Dragon?
I'm so like, how can you not be like the dragon behind her in that? So cool. Like the only reason I feel like if you didn't know why you came to Game of Thrones, as soon as like the dragons were introduced, I knew why I was staying. So I cannot like I'm so excited to see like the beginning of this and to see how it's going to play out and go down the Jamie's been down the rabbit hole a little bit. I want to go down a little bit some there too. Jamie, tell us about, you said there's like a YouTube channel and everything people can check out and kind of get a little bit more information.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, I wanted to be an AA woman though. Oh yeah, for House of Targaryen. Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. I think what they're doing is it's still based on the George R.R. Martin novel, or novels. So that's why they're still lily white, because the Targaryens are very white, literally. Blonde hair,
yeah,
blue eyes, very, very white skin. But yeah, I feel you on that. Never saw Thrones, but we'll watch this. Nadia, I would recommend watching Game of Thrones. But you know what? I don't know. I feel like maybe you could probably watch House of Dragon and not necessarily Game of Thrones. I mean, really, literally, they're literally. I feel like you probably could watch House of Dragon, but because basically House of Dragon takes place 200 years before Game of Thrones.
Right.
So it's a prequel. So yeah, you don't like, it's like watching the Star Wars prequels without ever watching Star Wars, which there are some people that watch those before Star Wars. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely do that, but I would encourage you that if you do watch House of Dragon to watch Game of Thrones afterward. You probably will feel tempted to watch it because
you can go back.
Targaryen story. And to bring up what you had said, Ryan, so I'm really glad they're doing this show because the Targaryens, their family, like, whole story is so messy. It is so messy.
Yeah, so I like the drama.
The fact that they're creating a whole show centered around the Targaryens is perfect for television. I mean, we know that the Targaryens are notoriously a family that it's all about incest. Like, that's how they have to have a pure blood of Targaryen blood has to be pure. So they notoriously marry brothers and sisters together, which is okay. So that's
already
the Targaryen's role. But what I was curious about is Rhaegar, which, if there's anybody that's in the comments, which so far, okay, people in the comments have not seen Game of Thrones. If they're Novi Ford,
I'm telling y'all will go down the rabbit hole and be locked in your room for like days trying to watch this. So make sure you just got a moment, like a break, where you can watch it. Because when you start, I'm telling you, you have to go all the way through it when you get into the world, like people that haven't watched it.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm curious to know if there's anybody that that is watching this live that has seen Game of Thrones, if they know that if Rhaegar Targaryen is going to be in this, because I was looking at the cast and the character list so far, and I don't see Rhaegar, and Rhaegar has a very instrumental role in the Game of Thrones series. He's the eldest son of the Targaryen family, and he was with Elia Martell, and Elia Martell has a very tragic story. So if anybody knows that, let me know, because I want to know more about that story. And then there's this great YouTube channel called Alt Shift X that you guys should check out. And they just do like really great deep dives into various Game of Thrones stories. They don't just talk about the Targaryen story, but they just talk about all the different families. And if you ever just want to kind of do like sort of oh gosh, what's it called? I forgot what I I'm having a brain fart right now, but it's just sort of a shortcut, like without actually going through watching Game of Thrones. Or
like a Spark Notes, but like on YouTube, like with videos and everything.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Cliff Notes version of
Notes.
everything. Yeah.
Yes, kind of like a Cliff Notes. Just go to their YouTube channel and you can just watch like the history of the Targaryen family or the history
Sweet. That's cool.
of, all of the different houses and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, Alt Shift X is the name of the channel.
What a cool channel name too. Like I gotta check that out. That's cool.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. Nadia Nicole says, I tried, I just couldn't get into it. I feel you.
Yeah, it starts like that. That's why I said like carve out time where you could do it.
Because you don't want to stop. I first started with Game of Thrones. This was when I was living in North Carolina, and I mean, I didn't have any. I had just moved out there. I didn't really know anybody, so I was just kind of like by myself. And I turned on the HBO, and I was just like, "What is this? Like, I don't know what this is." And I had binge watched. I was a little bit late, and I binge watched season 1 in like a day. So it got me hooked like right away. The first season. So I thought Rhaegar was in the trailer, but when he hears the dragon in the cave, okay. See, that's what I was wondering. But when I looked at the character list on the HBO site, I didn't see him listed. So I hope he's in it because again, he's a very important character. It starts out dry, but keep watching it. Yeah, I mean, I thought I was reeled in from the very first. I was in Kuwait on deployment. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah,
by the way.
Service.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just depends on the space that you're in. Like sometimes if you're in a place where you're like, I have nothing else to do, I'll just watch TV. Like I was just by myself. I'll just watch TV. So like maybe if you have distractions, that might throw you off. I don't know. But anyway.
Yep.
So, but yeah, give it another. You're welcome. Give it another shot. It's such a good show. I mean,
now I wasn't a fan of the ending. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but I wasn't a fan of it. But it's a good show.
Oh yeah,
I'll just throw that out there.
I think the majority agrees with you that last season was trash.
Yeah, I didn't like that because I knew they had to it's one of them HBO things. It was like a lot of money. They had to get everything in. They got to finish it, wrap it up. And yeah, I just wasn't a fan, but I do think it's worth after you go through everything, worth watching everything and kind of forming your own opinion. But yeah, just throwing that out there. I'm not gonna say anything because I know you guys got to catch up on it. But yeah,
you must pay attention. Yeah, it's one of those shows where every single episode and every single scene of every episode is a callback to a future episode. Yeah. So like something that happens in season 1 occurs in season 6, and then you're like, oh, or season 4 or something like that, and you're like, oh, that's why that happened. So
right,
yeah.
So yeah, definitely take some time to kind of check it out. It'll like, I think people go back and forth. Sometimes it starts to reel you in. Sometimes you just like, I got to give it a second. Me, I had to give it a second because really I wasn't used to like the gravity of what I was seeing on screen all the time because I hadn't watched a show that was like this detailed and this into stuff. So it took me a minute, but yeah, you'll get into it. You'll get into it once you keep going.
And if you really want to go hardcore, try reading the books. I read the books too. So, and I did the audio version. I didn't really read. So,
Oh, audio. Audio's where it's at these days. Audio's where it's at though.
Because the books are dense. They're dense. So I had to go the audio book. I'm like, I'm not reading this. George R. Martin takes 16 pages to describe like a wall. Like it's just
yeah, I'm about to say, he had to go on for like every year. So yeah, do the audio book. Yeah, I love a good audio book.
Do the audio book. But like if you really find that you're into the show, the books are actually even better. I mean, the show does a really good job of following the books in the first, I would say, 4 seasons, and then they veer off after season 4. It goes in a completely different direction, and that's when it starts becoming a bit trashy, in my opinion. But anyway, so that's House of Dragons. So we can't wait for that, August 21st. Looking forward to that show when that comes out. So our next order of business is talking about Kevin Feige and what's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I guess apparently, actually, why don't you bring this up? Because this was a topic that you brought up, Ryan. Why don't you tell us about what Kevin Feige's doing?
Okay, so basically, a lot of people, and by the way, this is so I don't want to say anything about this because I don't know if everybody watched Doctor Strange, but this was my favorite part of Doctor Strange. So I'm just gonna say, if you know, you know, like this picture that Jamie has posted up is so dope. I thought like amazing. Anyway, because I'm gonna stop myself if I go on into like a rant and spoil stuff because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But basically, Kevin is finally telling us because everybody, you know, we've had why is it escaping me right now? Moon Knight. We've had like all these different iterations on Disney Plus. Right. So like, there's so many different things coming out, and they're not connecting. Right, like everything has like this end at the end of it. It's like, do we have another end game for Phase 4? Like, are these characters going to connect? Like, everything is just so disjointed. They're different genres. Like Doctor Strange was very horror. If you're not ready for the horror scene, you're probably not gonna like it that much. It was a very scary movie, very horror sort of feel there. But so basically he's saying coming up, because, you know, we got Thor coming July 6th. We got, you know, waiting on Black Panther. We got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Marvel. So, you know, She-Hulk. So he's saying with these next couple of movies coming up in this latter part of the phase, it's going to start to connect. So he's trying to tell everybody to hold on, keep looking for those Easter eggs. He has a master plan, and he's not telling us yet. But yeah, everybody, like every time you ask anybody about this new Marvel stuff that's coming up, like what show you watching, what you checking out, they're like, I don't understand. Like, it's not connecting. I don't understand like how Hawkeye could come up to this universe. Why do we have a multiverse? Like, why they're expanding like this? And it's a hot mess. But it's good shows, and they're individually, like, you may like them, you don't like them, but they don't connect. You know, like where everybody's waiting for that end game moment that we all had, where you're like, Avengers Assemble, but you don't have that yet because there's so many different characters and personalities in this new phase. You got Blade coming out. So yeah, he's trying to find a way to get the fans like, listen, I'm working on something. I know you getting confused. I know there's a lot coming at you. You waiting for that moment, but he's saying like, hold steady. Check out the rest of this stuff. He has a plan for how everything is going to connect. And you know, we're losing a lot of like our OGs with some of these characters coming in. So he's saying like, hold up. So yeah, so all you Marvel fans out there, hold on. Because I'm like that somewhat too. I'm enjoying the new phase that they're going into, but I'm also like, well, where's the group at, right? Like, how does it all, like, how do you bring Moon Knight into like Ant-Man or something? You know, like Spider-Man coming out and Sony doing their thing. Like, how is all of it going to connect? So, because you got like a Spider-Man, Doctor Strange thing kind of off in their own little multiverse of their world. So it's going to be interesting. So they got their work cut out for us, but he's saying don't lose hope. He's saying keep looking for those Easter eggs. So we'll see what he got planned.
So one of the things that I thought was interesting with Multiverse of Madness is the fact that, and I'm going to bring her image back up. Why did they not address her trauma that she experienced in WandaVision? It just seemed like it was forgotten about. Is that just me? Am I nitpicking here?
Yeah, well, no, because it's like, I see what you're saying, because it's they kind of address it, but they don't. Like they don't talk about like how hurt she was and everything, like being in that situation and losing it. They're just more focused on like, hey, this is the actor, this is where she's in that life. We need to like not like her in a sense. But it's like you have to realize the trauma, like Jamie saying, there's some trauma that she went through in WandaVision that can easily be glossed over if you haven't seen WandaVision, if you don't understand what she's talking about, because the root of that stuff starts in WandaVision. Like her whole storyline starts off from the gate in WandaVision.
Right. Nadia, you're right. Like they didn't touch on it long, but they did. But that's the thing. It's like that was a big part of her whole entire story in that whole show. And it was like, okay, it's a blip and then let's move on. Like it wasn't anything significant. And I don't know. I just feel like it's a problem of too many cooks in the kitchen, because maybe if they had brought in some of the team from WandaVision to work on Multiverse of Madness, then maybe it could have been a little bit of connective tissue there. So maybe that might be Kevin Feige's problem, is that he's just got too many people from different, you know, and they're very talented writers, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously Sam Raimi is a genius at what he does too as a director, but just too many folks that's working on these different properties, and it's like maybe they need to bring in some of the same teams, especially if you're bringing in, I don't know. I just feel like if it's something where if it's a story arc with a character, maybe bring in some of the writers from WandaVision to write that part of the script. So that way we remember, okay, remember this story arc? Let's not forget that. So that way that connective tissue can be there. Because it just, to me, just, I don't know, it kind of like completely just made that whole show irrelevant. I don't know.
Yeah, well, also to me too, I'm not a big Doctor Strange fan. I'm kind of getting there. Like the more I see him play around, and the more his world kind of opens up to me, I guess. But this to me felt like a Scarlet Witch movie than like I was more following her character than Doctor Strange. Like I was more curious of what was going on. Like her story kind of pulled me in more than his. Even though, you know, they do bring that cool idea of the multiverse, which, oh my God, gets so complicated. Like, I'm like, I hope they have a plan for like the way they open up that world, because DC does it a lot and it's so complicated. When you open up like different variants and different worlds, and you got this part of Doctor Strange over here and blah, 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 blah. And you start getting confused on like who's part of what storyline or whatever.
Right.
So hopefully he has that. Hopefully he has a plan for that too, because that can get like way insane. But yeah, this to me felt like a Scarlet Witch movie, like you know, well, Elizabeth Olsen doing her thing,
right? Like if it's more her movie, then focus on that part of her arc more than just making. Now, obviously, it that shouldn't be the case since it's Doctor Strange's
right.
movie.
Yeah, I think they accidentally slipped into that too deep, in my opinion. Like I don't think they were trying to do that, but I think they slipped in too deep because like that's what pulled me in.
Yeah. So yeah, but hopefully Kevin works on that a little bit better, because I do feel like the connective tissue is gone. I mean, obviously Moon Knight was completely disconnected.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Yeah.
I feel like, but that was probably intentional. I don't know if they did that. Like, I think they did that with the intention of making it disconnected, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably. Like they probably got some bigger plan here, probably.
Yeah, but even so, like we're so used to these stories all being interconnected. It'd be nice to, you know, have that always be the case whenever we're seeing a new Marvel property, you know. So
yeah, so keep your fingers crossed. By the way, have you guys seen the She-Hulk trailer? That thing is hilarious. If you ever seen like the trailer for that, I just was thinking about. I'm glancing over at the titles that they have coming up for Marvel. Like some of the stuff is hilarious. Like if you ever seen that trailer for like She-Hulk Attorneys at Law, it's really funny. So go check that out if you need a little laugh right now.
Yeah, She-Hulk is absolutely hilarious, and I'm here for Tatiana Maslany. I've loved her since Orphan Black, so I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and let's really quick before we dive into our next bit, let's talk about another Marvel show, since we're in the Marvel universe, pun intended. Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, Ms. Marvel.
Episode 3 launched yesterday, so I enjoyed it. And right now, actually, quick plug, Trevina Springer, who we see here in the photograph, we did an interview with her on blackgirlnerds.com, so you can check out that interview. But I did not know that she's that she converted to Islam and she's a practicing Muslim. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what I love about this show. It's so interesting.
The representation is like amazing. Like they are killing it. But yeah, what'd you think about the episode?
Yeah, I loved it. Jamie showed like the scene, the Bollywood dance numbers, Pakistan culture coming out there for this wedding, which you don't get to see all the time at Marvel. I feel like they're taking notes of what's going on around them, and they're like, okay, we got this new phase, right? So we got to start putting some stuff in here that looks more like the world, right? That should always be like when you're trying to revamp, going to a different phase. You know, we were talking about the Lily White before. You got to redo it. You know what I mean? Like you got to start like adding in different stuff. You got to change it up. I like how the cast is very much involved. They have a lot of like Bollywood actors that are talking about like going through this experience, and getting to do these dance steps and they don't get to usually do. And I just love when you have actors and crew behind the scenes that you can reference, and you're not just trying to pull this stuff out of the air, like, oh, this is what I think they do, or this is what I think they eat, and this is how I think they gather. Like actually asking for a real representation and figuring out how to make sure this is authentic and doing justice. And the show is just so light and fun that I love too. That is something.
That's what I love about Ms. Marvel. It's like, okay, we kind of going back to sort of the old Marvel days, like some of the older films, like the early Spider-Man movies that were more lighthearted and fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man is still lighthearted, but like it's just I like the cuteness of it all. I like how sometimes we see these really cute animated titles.
Yeah, so
like
cute, yeah.
It could definitely be animated. Like
it could be, yeah.
It wouldn't seem different at all. So I'm here for Ms. Marvel. I like how it's all panning out. I love Iman. She's such a great Imani. She's such a great actress, and I look forward to seeing how the show pans out. Nadia, I'm curious to know. You said not watching it probably because I can't get into young culture. Are you talking about She-Hulk or Ms. Marvel? I was just curious to know. And reading back on some of the comments, Kimia Banks says, I was disappointed in how they didn't let She-Hulk be larger, buffer. She has to perform femininity. It's interesting because a lot
that's an interesting point.
There's been a lot of mixed comments on the She-Hulk trailer. And I had gotten some intel from some folks that I talked to that work in the press that said that apparently they still weren't finished with the filming of the filming of She-Hulk when they released that trailer. So that's why like the CGI wasn't the best.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know why they do that, but I guess they've done that before with some films or some shows, but yeah, that's the reason why.
Maybe she'll be a little bit more buff in the next one.
Maybe so. And Nadia, you're saying that Ms. Marvel is the show that you can't get into. Okay. It felt like a very young show. Like when I first saw the first 2 episodes, it felt like a show for like TikTokers, for the TikTok generation. So
yeah.
I can definitely understand that. It's not your typical, it's not like your Avengers or, your Captain America kind of movie. It's or even like Loki show or WandaVision Disney Plus show. It's definitely a younger audience. But if you've ever read the comics, it's definitely in that same tone of like the comics.
Yeah. And you got to suspend your disbelief a little bit with this one. You got to kind of go like everybody has that inner kid that they like push down a lot, and you kind of got to let it fly a little bit in the show. Where you kind of remember like some of those moments being younger a little bit, even though it is a younger coach, it's a TikTok generation right now. Because she's blogging all that kind of stuff and putting the stuff up there and going to cons and everything. But I think it kind of takes you back to like that. To me, I feel like you can watch it at different ages because it takes you back to just remembering just being young in general. And she doesn't have like any idea, like she's going around like fumbling around life right now, trying to figure out what she's going to do, plus an added power onto that. So I think it's just interesting. And like I said, I feel like it's a break. Some stuff you can be like real heavy because there's a lot going on in the world and they want to get certain messages out to you. And I feel like this is like a little bit of a break for you and the fam to kind of sit back and chill a little bit and come into this world a little bit. So yeah, it definitely is like a TikTok sort of vibe, but I think it pulls you into like the big kids can watch it too. Like, somebody got the big kids out there too, they can watch it.
Kimia says, I started reading the Ms. Marvel books, but haven't finished them. So not watching yet. Oh, okay. I like that. Like read the book first and then start on the show. Nothing wrong with that. And Nadia says, no. Okay. You are not selling her on Ms. Marvel. It is not happening.
Know what, Nadia? Every time I try to get through the whole show and me and Nadia is cool. And then she just like.
Listen, I'm not here for Moon Knight. So there we go. You're not every Marvel show is going to sell people. You know what I'm saying? It's not like.
I don't know what you guys are talking about right now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm not gonna like it. It's not like sipping on the Marvel Kool-Aid or something. Like there's not just because it's Marvel doesn't mean I'm gonna like it, I mean, look, Eternals, hello. Is anybody here actually you liked Eternals?
I mean, it wasn't the worst thing I saw. Can we go with that? It wasn't the worst thing I saw.
Wow. Okay.
Are we really about to do a whole thing on like why you guys don't like Eternals? Are we really about to do that right now? Come on.
We messed up with TikTok. Yeah. Yeah.
Nadia, if you would get on the TikTok, no, Nadia just needs to get on TikTok. I don't understand what she's talking about right now. That just get on TikTok.
Booty. Eternals is booty. Thank you, Nadia. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
It was booty though. It was booty like
it was. Because it was so disjointed. It was so disjointed. You know what the problem with Eternals is bringing a whole bunch of characters we don't know and introducing.
Oh well, yeah.
And it's like
I don't think it was booty though, but I will follow you on that point. That was interesting because like we didn't have that background. They do, but they doing that with a lot of Marvel stuff right now. Like we don't have all the background, and they just throwing in stuff. That's why Kevin.
But then they also on top of that weren't. Sorry to interrupt you. I apologize.
Oh no, you're good.
But on top of that, they weren't that compelling because I could compare that to Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians wasn't really a well-known comic. But that went off, like, because you had Rocket, like you had those guys that were like really funny and like charismatic and just interesting. But Eternals, like there's not one character in Eternals that I'm like, I remember that character. Like that character resonates with me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I remember the name and everything, but I do remember Angelina Jolie. But I don't remember the name and everything. So there you go. But you know, I do remember way more from her character.
Groot barely says anything, and he's like one of the most popular characters on Guard.
I am Groot. Yes, he gets paid to do that.
Yeah. So Nadia says exactly. Yeah, like.
But I'm just saying, I didn't think it was booty. Like I didn't think you had to put the exclamation point on the booty part of it. Like I think they were trying to get something there. But I do see where you guys are going. Like if I'm gonna compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah, I'm definitely probably gonna watch Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah.
Is there a Marvel show that you don't like or movie? Okay, you're sipping on the Kool-Aid. It's okay. You drank the Marvel Kool-Aid, like the first Thor movie. You like that?
The first Thor, but
you like Avenger Age of Ultron? You like that movie?
Seriously, you guys didn't like any of this? Are you guys serious? Wait, okay. So maybe like the second Thor was rough. Okay, I will give you that. The second was rough.
Thank you, SLMB.
But I didn't hate it.
No self-insight. Like, there's got to be a movie that you're like, that movie wasn't
Hold
good.
on, let me look up all the Marvel movies that you guys continue, and I'm gonna find. So I can
okay, if you gotta look it up, then that tells me you just like anything Marvel. It's okay, and you know what? That is okay. I'm not judging you for that. I'm just saying, like,
I feel like y'all low key are, but
there's movies that
I'm trying to figure out why. I'm still trying to go back to Eternals where it was booty with the exclamation point. We gotta let it go though. But I'm just saying, I'm just trying to figure out.
I'm just trying to figure out, is there a Marvel movie that you don't like? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Probably not. Like, if we're just being honest, probably not. But we can dig. Like, we can find something if you guys really want to. Like, we can work it out. Okay. There's other titles to go.
Okay, that is interesting.
Well, hold on. Let me go back real quick, though. Loki was suspect to me. I didn't completely. It made me like Loki more, but it was suspect to me. So I'll give you guys.
Really?
I wasn't fully on the Loki train.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't fully on the Loki train because I was like, I don't really like Loki. Like that's just between us. That's not really my character. So yeah, maybe I'll give him that one.
Okay.
So like a little less Kool-Aid on that one, but other than that, I'm straight.
Well, awesome. Well, we're gonna move on to Star Wars. But before we do our recap of Obi-Wan Kenobi, I did want to bring up this one interesting news item that has come up with this guy. Remember him?
Yeah.
Speaking of someone who's played superheroes, this is Wesley Snipes. Obviously, Wesley Snipes looks a little different than he does in this picture. But this is Wesley Snipes as Blade from back in the day. And to the other photo is obviously the Mandalorian from the show The Mandalorian, played by Peter now. But the reason why we're showing this image is because there's a news story that came out of comicbook.com where he gave an exclusive interview to them saying that he would actually like to be in the Star Wars franchise. This is Wesley Snipes giving this interview saying he wants to be in the Star Wars franchise, and he says he wouldn't mind being on The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which I find that to be fascinating. He also went on further to say, so Ming-Na Wen, who plays Fennec Shand, she also has appeared on The Mandalorian. She's also on The Bad Batch. Also Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
She was in a movie with Wesley Snipes years ago, and he also brings her up. They were co-stars together. I remember this movie. This movie was called One Night Stand. Wasn't that good from what I remember. I'm such a harsh.
I can't remember the movie. Y'all listen.
I'm such a harsh.
You see what I'm dealing with right here? This is why I have to be.
That's because you like everything, Ryan. You like everything.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I gotta find something that I don't really like that much. This is why we balance each other out. You know, Jamie is like,
I have to watch it again.
At the beginning, and it was too slow. Like, you know, Jamie.
Maybe I should watch it again. I should try to find it, and hopefully it's streaming or available to watch online somewhere. But yeah, they started a movie called One Night Stand. It came out like I think in the 90s or early 2000s. But yeah, he was like, I would love to be on The Mandalorian. So I thought that was really cool. Obviously, I would like to see Wesley Snipes appear in the new Blade film. I don't know if they've asked him to make some kind of
I saw some stuff about that. Yeah, where people were asking, like, wanting him to like make an appearance, but he hasn't said anything. Yeah,
they
should do that.
Might
they should do that.
Secretive. Yeah, they might keep that under wraps where he's like got a gag order where he can't talk about it.
Probably. Yeah, that contract's probably real thick. Yeah, he can't say anything about it.
So we'll see what happens. And I cannot pronounce her name. Nimbush, right? Is that her name? Is that how you say her name? But homegirl that was in the first Blade movie. I hope she makes an appearance.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. They should just do like a callback to all of them. I mean, we'll never know like until we actually see the movie, but they should definitely do it.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens because I ain't seen that girl in a minute. So but yeah, so Wesley Snipes wants to be in the Star Wars universe. So yeah, curious to know what y'all's thoughts are. Yes, in the Blade movie, but Star Wars, nope. He's not here right now. And God. I could see Wesley Snipes being in The Mandalorian though. Like if you can bring back Carl Weathers.
That's what my head went.
Action Jackson back in the 80s. I don't know if y'all remember. Ryan, you might not remember this because you a youngin.
I'm a little youngin.
But he was in this movie called Action Jackson in the 80s. So if y'all can bring back Carl Weathers, you can bring back Wesley Snipes. I don't see the problem with that. And Boucher. Okay. Appreciate the phonetic spelling there. And Boucher, right. Let's bring her back. It'll be nice to see Wesley in the new Blade. Yes. Please bring.
Yeah. I low-key think they have to do that. And they just like Jamie saying, like the contract is thick and they just not saying it. I low-key feel like they have to do that. Because like, how are you not going to do it? Yeah,
exactly. How are you not?
Yeah, I
He's
feel like
walking and breathing.
Yeah.
You know, and I low-key think that he should be in one of the Black Panther, be in the next Black Panther sequel.
That would be cool.
Because years ago, he wanted to play Black Panther. He actually.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to play Black Panther. So.
Yeah, I'm with it. Put as much melanin as possible on the screen. I want to see it.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, here we are with that. I can see that. Yes. Obi-Wan Kenobi finale happened and I feel satisfied. I don't know about you, Ryan.
I'm also sad because I want some more. Like I want to keep watching it. It's cool.
I know it's so short. 6 episodes.
But yeah, I was definitely satisfied. But yeah, I was just sad because I just wanted some more episodes. Like I just want to keep watching.
Can I say that I am here for Moses Ingram's Instagram?
Oh,
I am so here. Have you seen her IG stories?
I haven't seen the most recent one, but she's been like killing it. Because usually at this point you like shy away from it because people have too many opinions and it's not really worth it sometimes. But she is hanging tough.
She is going in on because one of her stories say, "Y'all thought I was dead or something, or I'm still alive."
I love her.
Going in on her face. So anyway, I'm here for her IG stories. Y'all should check out Moses Ingram's Instagram. So anyway. Speaking of our girl,
that's the look.
So yeah, again, spoilers. spoiler alert, she's alive. She is not been killed. Our third sister is still with us, and I'm happy. Obviously she's come to a full kind of redemptive arc. In this first season, we find out that she is not a villain, that she's been chasing Darth Vader this whole time. So good. And then she goes after Luke Skywalker. Little Luke. You know,
look at him.
Aww. And we're thinking, she gonna do something with, because her motive is to go after, Darth Vader.
She's still on that revenge tip,
on that revenge tip. And we all know that Luke is the son of Anakin, of Darth Vader. So we're thinking, is she gonna kill the boy? Well, obviously,
I got nervous.
We know he ain't gonna die, but we're kind of on pins and needles. And then she she ends up bringing him back to his uncle.
No, it's so sweet. That scene, I love that scene so much.
I love
she just like broke down, and it was just like you finally could see. I don't know, it was just so much in that scene. Like you could tell that she finally was letting it go, and this like tough exterior she had to have throughout the whole season. And she was just like, and like Obi-Wan sitting there like, well, okay, what you gonna do now? You free now? So what you got now? Like, what you gonna do? Like, you're not him. You haven't completely fell to the darkness. You're letting it go. So what do you like? She puts down the dark saber. I just love like every minute of it, and I cannot wait. Like, I know they're working on something because they just like, how can you not have a plan when you're in the Star Wars world? So I can't wait to see what she's doing, because I wanted another, like, they basically like left you satisfied. There was nothing else to say after that scene, but I literally was sitting there like, well, maybe they'll have like 5 minutes at the end and they'll say something else about her character, or we get a little like sneak peek or something.
Right, absolutely. So I loved her story. I did not see, I saw part of it, as I mentioned in our previous show. I knew that little girl in Order 66 was her, and she has her little flashbacks that, we see those again happening in this episode. So she's still traumatized, and she still has not let go of the fact that Anakin did this to her. So the vendetta and the revenge is still there, but at the core of it all, she's still a good person. She doesn't have the ability to kill innocent people. She only wants to kill the man that actually tried to kill her, which is Anakin Skywalker. So
you had some good calls on this, Jamie. I appreciate that. I was like, Jamie was ready, because you like first you called that one, and then I'm thinking like, they're not gonna let her come back to the light, are they? They're not gonna let her come back to the side like after it happened. And then she came back. I was like, I don't know what contract Jamie signed, y'all, but she was playing this one out.
The only thing, Nadia says, the only thing I hated about that was we know she was going after Luke to her Anakin, but it would only have been empty because Vader didn't know about his kids.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot. But see, this is what confuses me about these shows, though. Are they really following, like, canon? Like, are they really following, like, New Hope and all that? Or are they, like, we're going to change this up? Okay.
No, they're
because I was wondering, because I thought about that, too, but I was wondering. I was like, are they trying to, change it up a little bit?
But I think that she was going to eventually tell him, she was going to let him know that was his kid. That's what I think.
That's
she
what she
would have killed him. Yeah. She would have either brought him to him alive and killed him, or killed him and showed him the body or something. Like, she would have told him that was his son. Yeah.
The look on their faces, though, when she had Luke in her arms. Oh my gosh. You could have, like, the way they looked like they were going to drop to the ground. That whole scene was just crazy. Oh, hello. Everybody giving a shout out.
Yeah. So I think that's how, but yeah, the show is completely canon because it goes back to, remember that fight scene from last week? And that fight scene was a callback to Attack of the Clones. So there's a lot of canon moments. This image here was really just amazing. Just well shot.
And I just
love. What'd you say, Ryan?
I did a little ooh moment, like when I saw the side of his face inside of his. I was like, no, I don't want to see it. But it was a cool moment though.
I just love the alliteration and like just the metaphor that's happening here, because it's like half Darth Vader, half Anakin. He's half the man that he used to be. But then also it's like this is the moment too that Obi-Wan realizes that his friend Anakin is truly dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
And I love that for him, because I was like, dude, let it go. I was like, you gotta let it go. Because it's gonna like keep and continue and like dragging him down. So I love that. I love how they finally had that resolution.
exactly. Like, I mean, Obi-Wan still wants to try to see if there's any soul left. Like that's why he doesn't want to kill Anakin. And he
Right.
calls him Anakin, you know, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And then there's that moment where, you know, he calls him Darth Vader at the end, and that's when he realizes, okay, this is who he is. My friend is dead, my friend is gone. And I just love this image, because it's just like he's broken. He's half of who he is. Like, there's just so many interpretations of what you can.
And like you had Obi-Wan with the little tears in his eyes and everything. Like it was a powerful scene. It finally was bringing a closing on all those chapters where you're like, are we gonna just keep this going for like more movies to come, more shows to come? Are they gonna keep chasing each other? Which he tried. He actually did. Darth Vader actually did keep trying to go with it, and he got called out. His master was like, "Yo, like, what's the deal, dude? Like, what's happening? You got that weakness happening? What's going on? Why you ain't letting it go?" Exactly. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I thought how he was like still trying to go, and Obi-Wan finally had that moment where he was like, "Okay, all right, that's not him anymore. I gotta let it go."
Yeah. And Leia, we love Leia. She's great.
I think it's Vivian Blair, right? She acted her butt off. I'm telling you, this girl right here. I hope she keeps going to Star Wars or whatever she has next coming up. She's gonna be tough. I like her.
Oh, she's canon. She's gonna be in Star Wars for a minute. I love it. I love. First of all, I mean, I gotta shout this out. She follows us on Instagram, and she be liking a lot of our posts. Like sometimes, you know, when a celebrity follows you on Instagram or whatever, you know, they just follow, but they don't like engage. Like she be liking our stuff. I'm like, oh.
I know. I
don't know if it's her.
I feel very honored right now, because she is amazing in this show. Like so cute. Like it's like a little, like she's so adult in this tiny little body. And I don't know how she does it, but it's so cool.
Yeah, she's just so adorable. So yeah, Leia, you know, we get her full story. It comes, you know, her story comes full circle. And it's absolutely great. Obviously, she comes back home safe to her adoptive parents. There's a great scene between her and let's go back to her face. There's a great scene between her and Obi-Wan where, you know, Obi-Wan was like, you know, I'm not able to tell you about your parents right now. And she's like, that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, because we know that her father is Anakin Skywalker and her mom is Padme. So you can learn all about that origin in the prequels. But yeah, she for now is under the loving care of the Organas, and you know, everything is going to be safe and sound.
I love her little like walking around with a little like blaster holster she had on her waist. It was Talia's to begin with, and Obi-Wan gave it to her, and I like how she's kind of like committed to that, being like this. It kind of gives her that little warrior at a nice little young 10 years old, but she has it like coming in her future. So I like how she's like going around sporting that, which is real cool and cute for all the little kids out there. They get to watch it. Her trying to make a difference at her age, knowing that she does have an effect. So I can't wait to see where this goes for her character.
Jamal Flores says she didn't know that Luke had a connection to Vader. She has a line paraphrasing, "I wanted to kill the kid, Luke, to be like him, Vader. She couldn't do it. She killed tons of Jedi and people on Tatooine, but inexplicably changed heart for no reason in episode 5. Are you talking about the third sister, Reva?
Yeah, we'll be curious. That's what I thought he's talking, but I'm curious. Yeah,
I'm curious too, because if that's the case, then it wouldn't make sense why she's hunting down Luke if she didn't know that he had a connection to Vader. Why would she be hunting him down?
Yeah, and also I don't know, like I see where you're going with the flip, where it was kind of, I don't know if it was too much of a flip though, because I feel like if you're reading her body language, it's not explicitly stated, but I feel like she was slowly breaking down. Like every time she would have to go into like Tatooine or these different areas to kind of hunt these Jedi down or figure out what she was trying to get to. It's something about her that wasn't all the way on the dark side. I always felt like when I was watching her, when I was following her. So I didn't feel like the ending was so much of a flip where she decided not to kill him. I feel like they were kind of working up too, because she'd already kind of pretty much, and we thought she, probably some people probably thought she wasn't going to make it until the last episode. So I feel like she had that breakdown of like, okay, I have to change something. Like I think she tried it for a little bit because it's all she knew for so long, and he took her family, so she was still on that tip for a little bit. But I think she slowly realized like, nah, I got to do something different. But yeah, I'm curious, like what you thought. I mean, that's an interesting comment though. I'm curious to know like if you were referring to her or somebody else. But yeah, keep us posted.
So this character shows up at the very end, which hello, Qui-Gon.
I immediately thought Taken. Was I the only one? Like when he popped up, I was like,
I think it was.
That's not where you're supposed to get from the scene. You said what?
I think it was only you that thought of Taken.
Dang. All right, well, go ahead, Jamie. I'll turn my mic off. Go ahead, continue.
I love Liam. It's funny because my mom loves Liam Neeson. She was like, "Is that the actor that's in all of those movies I like?" I was like, "Yeah, that's Liam Neeson." Yeah, Qui-Gon comes back, and I shed a little nerd tear when I saw him show up because it's
about time. Where you been hiding? No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, well, Darth Maul took him out, so he ain't been around. And Nadia Nicole says, "Can I just say Qui-Gon? OMG, that hurt my heart. It was over." Yeah, like because when he got taken out, that hurt. That's
I see what you did there. Taken out. I see what you did there.
There you go. See, listen, me and the puns. I've created an art out of it. But yeah, that was great to see him. I think they did a good job. I wonder if they actually used any sort of de-aging or if they just used a scene.
Good question.
Because he looks like himself from the prequels.
Yeah.
He looks
isn't there a name for this kind of Jedi? Like they're coming up with that. Isn't it like it was like Ghost? I went down a rabbit hole because I was just curious, and I saw like fans and stuff putting out like it's Ghost something. I don't remember the other part of it. I have to like look it up. But for like when you get the masters that come by like this that figure like how to continue on.
Say that again.
When you have like the masters that come back, like Hugon, and it's like it was called Ghost something. Like I went down a rabbit hole where I was just curious to like what fans are thinking when you have like this kind of like it's like a kind of like Ghost, I guess in a sense, following you around like these Jedis that figured this out. And it was like a term for it, but I have to Google it and figure it out. Like if anybody in the comments knows, but I just thought it was interesting how I kind of went down a rabbit hole on some with these Jedis because they figured it out. They used the Force and figure out how to come back.
Let me see. Okay, let me look at these. Let us know in the comments what Ryan meant with those ghosts because I'm not familiar with that at all. Jamal says, "I love little Leia, but adult Leia totally forgot that she ever met Obi-Wan in Star Wars. She says to him, 'General Kenobi, you fought with my father during Clone Wars. Help me, you're my only hope.'" Yeah, there's a little disconnect in A New Hope. There's a little disconnect there, so I agree with you there. Now, this comment, yes, the third sister's going after Luke to get to Obi-Wan, not because she knew of Vader's relationship. I'm going to have to reassess that because I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. But you could be right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just, I'm not sure why she's trying to get to Obi-Wan with Luke. But Jamal says Force Ghost is a fan.
Oh, term. Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, because I went down a rabbit hole looking at what people were saying. So yeah, I figured it was some kind of like fan thing that might actually not actually be in the series, but I was just kind of curious. Cool. I appreciate it. I was trying to think of that term. I was like, what is that? The term that they're throwing around with that?
Nadia says, Jamal, she had no vendetta against Vader. In order to get to Vader, she went to everyone to get to him. Yeah, that's what I thought. So Yeah, some things
It's
ain't
kinda tricky.
some things
Yeah.
ain't making sense because I'm not sure why she would go to Obi-Wan when Obi-Wan literally had just left her in the scene prior and a few scenes prior. So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to figure out why she's trying to track Obi-Wan when she literally had him in her clutches. And then obviously Vader tried to kill her. So trying to track him down would make sense. But
Yeah, because it's a stretch to be like, because I'm thinking, I don't know, I guess I can see both, because if you did try to go on the Obi-Wan tip, even though she let him go or whatever, and they had their little moment, she was still asking him, like, why didn't he, like, where was he at? Why didn't he, have some kind of support there? So it's like, if you want to say she's trying to take everybody out, because she had already had her confrontation with Vader, and it's like, if she's trying to go after everybody, that has something to do with her losing her family. I guess you could say that, but I could see, I don't know, I guess I could see both tips, but I didn't really, to be honest, I was just kind of in the moment of her crying. So now I gotta go back. I gotta go back and see if
yeah,
there's details I
think
missed, because
I'm
that's
pretty
interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain she was trying to go over Vader. I will say that the writing got wonky for me when Anakin stabbed her, and
Yeah.
she survived. I just thought that was weird. And then also when she got stabbed as a child at the Order 66.
That's why I was confused when you said that, because that part didn't make sense to me. Because I was just like, so how many times she's getting ready to get stabbed, and what's going on here? Like, what do we not know about her? Maybe they're going to reveal it in the future. I don't know. Like, what do we not know about her? Why I ain't mad at her. Like, if you got that power, like, girl, keep getting up. It don't matter, like, what happens.
And maybe she's got some kind of power we don't know about.
Yeah. Because I was wondering about that. I was like, how did he do that? And she's still back here now. And then it's like him knowing, she was part of that order, and him just going, him just having like her be like, almost the right hand woman, and doing all this stuff for him, and he knows this about her, like he knows the background. So it was weird. It's like some other little background stuff that we don't know, some stuff going on here, because something's not adding up. But I don't know. I like everybody poking holes in it. That's how good the series was. It's gonna be like so many little holes and everything that we're trying to figure out and close up.
You bring up a good point. I think maybe she is impervious to being stabbed. Because
I can't figure it out. He took
out all
the
other child and survive a lightsaber going through your body, especially you have a smaller body, and the lightsaber is the same size as the one as an adult. And like Qui-Gon, which is a perfect example, died from a lightsaber from Darth Maul. So it's like, how did that even? Yeah. So
I don't know. Girl got skills. I want to know. Yeah, I want to know about this.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. Was the stabbing gratuitous violence on a black body? I don't know. Yeah. Are they trying to be woke by not having the black folks die? That could be. Kimya, you might be onto something.
What? The Star Wars just get woke? Hold up. I didn't think about this.
Woke by not having black folks dying. You never know.
Okay. I'm with
the Inquisitor was, and that was the thing too, Jamal. Like when the Inquisitor was stabbed, what was it? Episode 1, right? I was like, first of all, that can't be right, because the timeline in Rebels don't match up. So I was like, he's got to live. Somehow we're probably going to see him again, because him dying doesn't make sense. But I'm curious about that. Inquisitor's pale white. Lily white.
Lily white. Yep.
Hopefully they will explain the power of survival. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Please explain that, because I want to know. They got something going on with this dark force. I'm just telling you something.
I miss Nadia's comment here. Why isn't it letting me do that? Oh, if you saw the scene where she went after Luke and those flashes kept coming to her, she kept wanting to go back to Vader, but it kept flashing to her as a child. Yeah, she's going through that trauma, and she's got daggers for Anakin. She's trying to get to him. That is her only motive at this point.
Yeah, which I'm hoping she lets go, because ain't nobody got time. But we'll see how it goes down. Ain't nobody got time for that.
The power is the Force. It's plot armor. Okay. You're talking about like the plot of the show? I don't know.
Oh, but no, speaking of which, the Force though, with Obi-Wan and Darth, that scene was dope with the lightsabers, and they were pulling the rocks at each other. I thought that was cool.
I thought the special effects were very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I was here for it. When he busted out the rocks, I was like, when he started piling all the rocks on, he was like, "This is why you're always lose." I was like, "Really, Obi-Wan? Like, this is what we got to do right now? This is really where we're going." And then he exploded through it. So I was happy at that point. But at first I was like, he's getting on my nerves. Because we know Obi-Wan got some skills here. He just be sitting there. And I'm like, listen, sir, what is going on? But he got it.
It was that situation where he finally got his groove back, right? And that was the writing was actually good there, because at the very beginning, his force was weak. And it slowly, episode by episode, got stronger and stronger. And then this final episode was like full force, where all of these rocks that would literally, like anyone else that had a weaker force, wouldn't be able to withstand. He was able to, get through that situation. So I thought that they did a good job of showing the progression of his force sensibilities there. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a great scene.
I just wanted him to move quicker because it started getting on my nerves, but I feel where Jamie's coming at with it.
You're like, just hurry up and use the force.
Yeah, because it was getting on my nerves, because it was like, it would always be like Vader. And he was like, look at all, like, he don't know how to hold. Like, we know Obi-Wan been about this life for a minute now, with the gray hair and everything. He been hiding now. And I'm like, listen, sir, you was not that rusty. And it was just like, he would always get, like, Vader would always get the upper hand. I'm like, are we really getting ready to do this right now? So yeah, I was glad when he finally figured it out. Like, it was getting touch and go there for me for a minute, but yeah, I'm glad they figured it out.
So she had the power of the force as a child. Well, children can have the force, so that is possible. I mean, the child in the Mandalorian has the force.
Yeah, he does.
The child is so cute.
He's so cute. I'm not with the Go-Gru though, but he's.
And then he gets so tired when he uses just a little bit of the force.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Did that get on anybody else's nerves? Because listen, he's so cute, but I'm like, why is y'all passing out? We don't have time for that.
Because he's just a child.
But we don't have time. He could get loud. He could get left in a tunnel, and it's like, how are we going to get back to the ship? We don't have time for him to do that every single time. But I digress. It's fine.
You're like, just get to the point. It's called exposition. It's called buildup. It's called development. You gotta be.
Why is baby Yoda passed out? And the Mandalorian got to take out like 20 people, and the baby is just sitting right there on the ground.
Come on now, that was straight platinum. The power of healthcare for characters. We need to use the force in this country. Yeah. It did bother me. Okay, Nadia agrees with you.
Finally, Nadia. All right, hold on. Let me give it a little up. Let me give it a thumbs up. Thank you, Nadia.
Yeah. So yeah, and then also remember, like, even though it's not the force, and it's not a writing plot. It's not a plot hole, I should say. But notice that, like, Leia is really good with, like, mechanics.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed that throughout the season. Like, she's really good with technical stuff.
You guys open the door up.
That's a part of the Skywalker. Yeah, the Skywalker skills, because we also saw that with Luke in Phantom Menace. Like, he put together like a whole bunch of tech stuff. So like, that's just a Skywalker thing. So if you're wondering, how is she like 10 years old and is able to put this whole thing together?
She was like, get out of my way, people. I got this.
That's a Skywalker thing.
I like it.
So
these characters are just way too cute for me, you guys. I can't take it.
Yeah, they're adorable. So I'm a little sad that this show has ended, and
I know, man. Now we gotta go back and watch other stuff. Me and Jamie were talking about that. Because at first I was like, what am I gonna watch now? Like, this is what I've been waiting to do.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna move on to watching Rebels. That's not Rebels, Clones. Clone Wars. Excuse me. I don't know why I get those shows mixed up.
But is there one? Is there a Rebel one? Is there one?
Yeah, there is Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
But I'm gonna watch Clone Wars, and just go through that. That's sort of kind of like next in line to Anakin's, development as young Anakin. So, and then Bad Batch season is coming as well.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I heard a lot of things about that. Yeah.
So Jamal says the rock planet levels of playing field for Obi-Wan. He needed something to use against Vader, and he wouldn't have stood a chance. The dark side was more powerful. Vader was stronger, of the two in the series at this point, thanks to the dark side.
Yeah, that got on my. See, that's what I'm talking about. Where it got on my nerves with the slow burn of Obi-Wan, because I feel like this is just me personally. I feel like the Force, like the light, is stronger. Is what I just always gravitate towards. But I just feel like the way he did. I don't know if it was like a lack of confidence. He's been retired for a little bit, but that's what got on my nerves, because I was just like, I feel like he can do it, but it was always like Vader was like over top of him, or Vader hit him like on the leg or something. He just comes all the way down the rock, and it's just like, ugh. It's like that back and forth until like that last scene where it's like he finally was like hearing all these voices in his head, and he was ready to like fully embrace it and show his true power. But that's what I didn't like about the.
But Vader's not that strong though. Vader still has.
I never thought so, but the way they played it out, I could see why somebody would think that, because it was just like every time they came in front, it was like Obi-Wan was always like he wasn't ready, like he was ready to just get knocked over, and it's like you taught him some of these fighting skills. Like, what's going on here?
Yoda says the dark side isn't stronger. Right. Well, yeah. I think Jamal is saying that I guess Vader is stronger than Obi-Wan as far as using the Force. But I kind of disagree with that, because I think that I mean, Obi-Wan technically won.
As far as he definitely won. Yeah,
so,
but it just got on my nerves, a slow burn, but he definitely won.
But I mean, obviously, if we go to A New Hope, then we've, an older Darth Vader, his powers are more developed and he's at full capacity. So he's still young Anakin. Like his powers are still his Force is still, he hasn't built up that full sensitivity of the Force yet, I think, in my opinion. I don't think he's as strong, in other words. Nadia says it's just a strategy. Jamal, anger and hatred makes you stronger. Palpatine's a trip. Palpatine is all about playing mind games and gaslighting people. Yeah. So it's not even about physical with Palpatine. It's all about mental.
Yeah, if he can get in your head, he got you. Yeah,
that's how he was able to bring Anakin over.
Yeah, if he can get in your head good enough, he got you. So yeah, it's a powerful thing and that's what the third sister Reva was going through at the end. That's the whole thing about, what I love about this world, the whole thing about hatred and anger. If somebody gets in your head and you like dead set on that's the path you're going into, you do a lot of destruction. You probably won't win at the end of the day, but you're going to take a lot of people down with you because this is that mind game that they get into, which I love about how they put that, it's always a light in the dark, with these movies, with these series, you got to choose which path you're on. And, dark is going to take you pretty far. But eventually it's gonna catch up with you. And you had that moment when you on the ground, like that crying, like the third sister, like Reva was, where you can't do it anymore. Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to be that angry and go after somebody like that.
Mm-hmm. It's about planting that seed, because people say that Anakin turned into the dark side in Revenge of the Sith. Dare I say it happened in Attack of the Clones, because really that
there you go.
Sort of that hatred started brewing like after his mother's death, and like even that sort of power to want to be on the council and just feeling that entitlement, like the dark side was already brewing in him. And then Palpatine just sort of like just pushed him to be like,
hey. He was like, oh, I see a little hole there, let me just push
it just kind of like pushed him.
So I hate it for him. That was
always there.
He definitely pushed him over there.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, we're going to wrap up our show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really lively discussion. Obviously, we're excited for everything that's going to be coming out in the Marvel Universe. We won't be talking about Star Wars for a bit because obviously Obi-Wan. But, leave us a comment in YouTube if there is something that you want us to talk about with Star Wars. We're happy to always bring up those discussions.
Star Wars geeks over here. Do want to mention though, Jamie, not to interrupt you for the end.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Umbrella Academy season 3, you guys, is now out on Netflix. I don't have much because I need to play catch up because, like Jamie saying, you guys did put that in the comments our last live to kind of ask us about what we thought about that. There are some make sure you're following us because there character interviews. There are actor interviews, articles about it from the fabulous BGN crew. So we are bringing you content about it. I'm actually going to go watch season 3. I had to take a little break from Star Wars now that it's ending, so I want to go and catch up and see. Been following it thus far. Apparently, season 3 is more character focused. there was a crazy cliffhanger for the end of the season. Don't tell me in the comments if you already know what goes down. But yeah, I'm gonna try to watch that and bring you guys my little rant on that, fit that into one of these live shows about how that went down. But yeah, so yeah, we do pay attention when you guys put in the comments. It's just so much stuff to watch, but we're getting there.
There you go. I do not watch Umbrella Academy, not because I don't like the show. It's just a show that never ended up in my viewing time, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because we've been covering it as a publication for the last 3 seasons, and I just never got around to watching it. So maybe one day I'll binge watch it and join you guys when I talk about it, or when Ryan, when you bring it up. But for now, I'll let you do all of the talking when it comes to Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, I'll fit that in for you guys. We'll do a little rant in there. We'll fit it in. We'll have Jamie will give us her fabulous pictures that she finds. I don't know how Jamie, like, she always gets the pictures ready for these stories and gets it going. So yeah, she'll have her stuff ready to go here. But yeah, well, I'm definitely gonna slide it in for you guys because I've definitely been seeing it tear up Twitter and hit all the trending social media and everything. So
it's a very popular show. It's a very popular show, and
so yeah, we'll get into it for you guys.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, Jamal, I think you missed it because you joined in a little late, but we did talk about Ms. Marvel episode 3. So definitely, go back to the playback and watch us, and you can listen to what we talked about with Ms. Marvel. But yeah, we will also do little recaps of Ms. Marvel as the episodes drop each week. Yeah. So because we're Marvel stans over here, even though, Ryan is a bigger Marvel stan than I am. I love Marvel. I do. But Ryan is like indiscriminately in love with Marvel. So, by the way, be on the lookout for some coverage from Black Girl Nerds on Thor: Love and Thunder.
So yeah, I'm excited. All right. I hope you guys got your tickets. I got my tickets. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see. Hope it's gonna be good.
Yeah, so we're excited for some interviews and movie reviews and all of that fun stuff. So go to blackgirlnerds.com, subscribe, and hit the notification button on our YouTube, and stay tuned for all of that fun stuff there. And thanks for tuning in and listening to our show. There we go. There's a subscribe button. I was like, where's the subscribe button? I made this cool little graphic, and I like to show it off every now and then. Made this cool thing too, and I barely use that.
There you go. we getting them all in at the end. It's cool. It's fine.
Get them all in the end. But yeah, thanks for tuning into our show. I think what is it next week? What date is it next week? I don't even know.
I don't know, but you guys will be ready and you'll be surprised, and we'll have a lot of fun because we're going to do it every Thursday. And you never know what we're going to do. We're just going to make up. That's why you need to subscribe. That's why we can't tell you. You just have to subscribe because you never know how much fun we're about to have every Thursday.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to. Okay, it's not next Thursday. It's the Thursday after next. Not this Thursday, but the Thursday after next, we will have a guest on our show. So stay tuned in for that. But yeah, next Thursday will be another show filled with hot topics. So
yes.
Here we go. All right. See you guys next Thursday. And thanks for tuning in.
Bye.